There's a reason why playing hard to get works. In this video, we'll uncover 8 mind-blowing psychology facts that explain why ignoring people can make them want you more. By the end, you'll understand the hidden power of selective attention and how to use it ethically. Dr. Robert Cialdini, a renowned expert in the science of influence, explains that scarcity is a powerful motivator in human behavior. The scarcity principle states that people place a higher value on things that are perceived as rare or dwindling in availability, he notes. This principle doesn't just apply to material goods. It extends to attention and affection as well. When we perceive someone's attention as scarce, we often desire it more intensely. This forms the foundation of why strategic ignoring can be so effective in increasing attraction. However, it's crucial to understand that this isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human psychology and using that knowledge responsibly. With that in mind, let's explore the first reason why ignoring someone can make them want you more. 1. The uncertainty principle. You've been chatting with someone for weeks, texting back and forth almost instantly. Then suddenly, you don't respond for a day. Their reaction? They can't stop thinking about you. This isn't just coincidence, it's psychology in action. Dr. Daniel Gilbert, a professor of psychology at Harvard University, explains this phenomenon. The human brain is wired to seek certainty. When we encounter uncertainty, especially in relationships, our brains go into overdrive trying to resolve it. This uncertainty triggers a cascade of neurochemical reactions. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, surges. Why? Because uncertainty itself can be exciting. It's like a puzzle our brain is desperate to solve. 2. The contrast effect. You've been giving someone your undivided attention for weeks. Then, out of the blue, you become less available. The contrast between your previous behavior and your current aloofness, it's like a spotlight on your absence. Dr. Elaine Hatfield, a pioneer in the study of love and attraction, explains, the contrast effect in psychology suggests that we perceive things relative to their context. In relationships, this means a sudden change in behavior can be more impactful than consistent behavior. This contrast doesn't just affect how often they think about you, it can actually increase your perceived value. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who experience intermittent reinforcement, sometimes getting attention, sometimes not, reported higher levels of attraction compared to those who received consistent attention. But tread carefully. While this contrast can spike interest, it can also breed insecurity if overused. The goal isn't to create anxiety, but to highlight your value through occasional scarcity. 3. The reciprocity reflex. Ever notice how, when someone pulls away, you suddenly feel the urge to chase them? This isn't just you, it's a deeply ingrained human behavior known as the reciprocity reflex. Dr. Robert Cialdini, in his groundbreaking book, Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion, explains, the rule of reciprocation states that we should try to repay, in kind, what another person has provided us. When you ignore someone, you're essentially withdrawing your attention. This creates a psychological debt that the other person feels compelled to repay, often by giving you more attention than before. A fascinating study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that participants who were made to feel like they were losing their partner's attention reported a significant increase in efforts to reconnect. This effect is strongest when the withdrawal of attention is unexpected and intermittent. Constant ignoring doesn't create reciprocity, it creates distance. The art lies in creating moments of scarcity that prompt the other person to value your attention more highly. 4. The forbidden fruit effect. You've heard the phrase, you always want what you can't have. This isn't just a catchy saying. It's a psychological principle known as reactance theory, or what we might call the forbidden fruit effect. Dr. Jack Brame, who first proposed this theory, explains, psychological reactance occurs when people feel that their freedom to choose an action is threatened. They respond by wanting that option even more than before. When you ignore someone, you're essentially making yourself less available. In other words, more forbidden. This can trigger reactance, making the other person desire your attention even more intensely. A study published in the Journal of Personality found that participants rated potential romantic partners as more attractive when they were told these partners were unavailable. The researchers dubbed this the Romeo and Juliet effect. However, this effect has its limits. If someone feels completely shut out, they may give up entirely. The key is to create a sense of challenge, not impossibility. It's about being slightly out of reach, not completely unavailable. 5. The spotlight effect reversal. We often assume we're the center of attention, a phenomenon psychologists call the spotlight effect. But when you ignore someone, you flip this effect on its head, creating a powerful attraction dynamic. Dr. Thomas Gilovich, who coined the term spotlight effect, explains, people tend to believe they are being noticed more than they really are. But when attention is withdrawn, it can create a heightened awareness of the absence. When you stop giving someone attention, they suddenly become hyper-aware of your absence. It's like the psychological equivalent of noticing a missing tooth. The gap becomes all you can focus on. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that participants consistently overestimated how much their absence was noticed by others. But here's the twist. When attention was deliberately withdrawn, the absence was noticed significantly more. This reversal of the spotlight effect can make the other person acutely aware of your value in their life. But use this technique sparingly. Constant absence doesn't increase desire, it breeds detachment. 6. The scarcity-induced value. Inflation. When something is scarce, we tend to value it more highly. This principle doesn't just apply to material goods. It extends to attention and affection as well. Dr. Meg Jay, a clinical psychologist and author, explains, scarcity increases perceived value. When someone's attention becomes less available, we often attribute more significance to it. This psychological quirk can lead to a fascinating phenomenon. The less available you are, the more valuable your attention becomes. It's like creating an attention economy where your focus is the premium currency. A study in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that participants rated compliments from selective communicators, those who gave praise sparingly, as more meaningful than those from frequent communicators. But here's the catch. This effect has diminishing returns. If you're always unavailable, your scarcity loses its power. The key is to create moments of availability that are meaningful, interspersed with periods of scarcity that enhance your perceived value. 7. The Zeigarnik effect in relationships. Have you ever had an unfinished conversation that you just can't get out of your head? That's the Zeigarnik effect in action, and it plays a crucial role in why ignoring someone can make them want you more. Dr. Bluma Zeigarnik, who first identified this effect, found that people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. In relationships, this translates to unresolved interactions holding more mental real estate. When you ignore someone, you're essentially creating an unfinished interaction. Their brain, seeking closure, keeps returning to thoughts of you. It's like leaving a book open mid-chapter. The urge to finish is nearly irresistible. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that participants thought about potential romantic partners more frequently when their last interaction was left unresolved. But be careful. While this effect can increase someone's thoughts of you, it can also lead to frustration if overused. The goal is to create intrigue, not annoyance. Use this technique to spark curiosity, then follow up with meaningful interaction to build a real connection. 8. The self-perception theory. Twist. The final psychological factor we'll explore is perhaps the most subtle, yet powerful. It's based on self-perception theory, which suggests that we infer our attitudes by observing our own behavior. Dr. Daryl Bem, who proposed this theory, explains, individuals come to know their own attitudes, emotions, and other internal states partially by inferring them from observations of their own overt behavior and/or the circumstances in which this behavior occurs. When you ignore someone, you're not just affecting their perception of you, you're influencing how they perceive their own feelings towards you. If they find themselves constantly thinking about you or trying to get your attention, they may conclude, I must really like this person if I'm putting in so much effort. A fascinating study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that participants who were asked to act as if they were attracted to someone often reported developing genuine feelings of attraction. This doesn't mean you should ignore someone to trick them into liking you. Instead, it's about understanding that people's actions can shape their feelings. By creating situations where the other person chooses to pursue you, you're allowing them to reinforce their own attraction. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.